U.S. Paralympic team. We love the support. We've grown so much. Follow us Instagram, social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace to be a number one friend, whatever it is. We get you going. Never give up is definitely a thing. By all means, respect these two for everything they do for us and giving us a platform, understanding that, no one else you can count on besides yourself is number one. So focus on yourself. I know it's hard, but you'll get through it, I promise.
Sound check?
We just did a sound check, right?
Okay, cool. Everything's good?
You sounded pretty good.
All right, cool.
Alright, so we're going to get started in about 5, 4, 3, 2.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Energy Podcast. Like always, thank you so much for the overwhelming support and everybody just showing love. If you haven't already subscribed or followed or commented on our stuff, go ahead and go do that because we love you more than we did yesterday. And also share this with at least one person because you don't know who can gain value from the stuff that we speak about. The goal is always to bring value and help.
Who do you share it with? Share it with who? Share it with
Your mom, your tia, your uncle, your ex-boyfriend, like your little neighbor. Share with everybody because it's the best podcast in the world. But like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, the goal is always to bring value to our energy people. You know, the energy from within, which is basically the mindset to be able to do whatever the you want. Now that I got that out of the way, today's guest is probably one of the strongest and most bravest one we've had so far. San Diego born and raised, active in the U.S. Army Reserves, Nike athlete. He's a Paralympian, captain of the U.S. National Paralympic soccer team. Ladies and gentlemen, here today to share with us his energy, David Garza. What's going on, brother?
Thank you.
Hey, I had to do that suspenseful pause to see like who is he? Who is he? Yo, what's up, brother? Thank you for coming, bro. How you doing, man? Thank you for coming by, bro.
Of course.
I know last time we were supposed to get together, but your voice wasn't at 100, and
Definitely.
here we require a voice to be at least 80% for us to be able to do something with it. So
Well, I'm just glad I got better. I'm glad to be here.
no, yeah, definitely, brother. How you been, bro? How's your day going? What's going on with you?
Fantastic. It's busy. 24 hours, not enough hours in a single day.
No, bro, not at all. Not at all, bro. You'd be surprised.
Definitely.
So, bro, a lot of people that don't know you, go ahead and give us a little, intro to who David Garza is. What are you all about? And, just share with us your energy, bro.
For sure. Born and raised San Diego, California, more specifically Chula Vista. I went to high school, Bonita Vista High School. Bonita forever.
Hey, some people are going to, I don't know about that.
I'm sorry. I got to put my shout out there. I'll plug that in real quick.
Dude, everybody just signed up live. Like, Bonita? Nah, just kidding. Much love to all the South Bay, high schools. Everybody stick together. We all showed love for each other, for sure.
except he's like
Facts. Facts. That's right, Cheese.
Oh, that's what we're doing? I was trying to be cordial here. No, you don't
We started it.
it's about time.
Nah, man. Honestly, bro, just growing up from here, I've been very, very privileged and blessed to live in the best city in the world, San Diego, California.
Very true, very
From
true.
there, went to school, been lucky enough to go play soccer at Cal State Dominguez Hills, was offered a scholarship my freshman year, sophomore year. Got in a bad car accident after my freshman year.
Right.
From there, 5 major surgeries, about 4.5 weeks in a coma, from my knee, from my broken jaw, torn off eyebrow, and then of course the trachea. From there, I was told, be in a wheelchair, was supposedly never going to walk again. I kind of took it as a mental challenge.
Right.
And, doctors, that's what they do. They look at their medical, analysis and tell you what it is. And
Yep.
I said, okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to prove you wrong. And one thing led to another. I've been very blessed. My father, who's originally from Houston, Texas.
Right.
Unfortunately, he joined the Navy. But he moved.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I say unfortunately because I'm in the Army, so we have that little friendly battle.
Yeah.
By all means, respect to anyone that's serving our country.
Yeah, no, 100%. Definitely big respect.
But, always have that little friendly banter between the two services.
Of course,
sure.
definitely.
But he always told me for you to join, he would join as enlisted right out of high school. He's like, hey, go to OCS or ROTC, make them pay for college.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Commission as an officer. So chose that route. USC offered me a full ride scholarship. Commissioned and graduated, got my degree from Cal State Dominguez Hills, as well as commissioning from USC.
Bro, so, rack them up,
yes,
bro.
Sir.
Congrats, big congrats. So, let's take it back a little bit, to your freshman year in college,
Yep.
You had that tragic accident. Just kind of walk us by, because, you know, a lot of people here, you know, suffer from mental illness. They suffer from physical injuries and a lot of stuff that goes on with their lives that they don't know who to turn to or who to speak, you know. What was that for you mentally, you know, going through all that, and how did you get yourself out of there?
You honestly nailed it. Like, you hit the nail right on the head. Going through that physically, you can see the scars.
Of course.
For sure. You could read the reports. Just I have like a 50-page document.
Literally, I saw your video, bro, and I messaged him. No joke. I was looking at it, and I was literally tearing up, bro, because of like heartfelt words that you were saying that like it really literally like instilled in me, and I was just like, yo, like, whoa. Yeah.
Definitely. And I think the biggest thing wasn't physically, it was mentally, like you said. And I'm so glad nowadays that this society we live in is putting a bigger highlight and emphasis on how important mental health is.
Yeah, no, it really is. It really is a big issue.
And going from there, I felt very isolated and lost, not in the fact where the injuries, but who do I speak to? Who do I talk to? Am I doing the right thing by going back to school? Am I doing the right thing by playing soccer again or trying to get back in the Army or whatever the case may be? There's a lot of questioning and questioning myself. Definitely at 19, I had to grow up a lot faster.
Especially that young, you know?
Definitely.
Your mind's still not fully developed, and even till now, it's barely getting to that point, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah,
I think age is honestly just a number at that point. I think specifically is more on what you go through and your ups and downs and responsibility and experience.
Definitely.
So from there, I was been very blessed. I wouldn't be here, but specifically without the doctors, without my parents, my brother, my just family and friends. I owe them everything. From there, I think that's where it helped me grow. Is your family's always going to be there for you. You got to reach out to them, and we're all human. We all make mistakes.
I like to say at the end of the day, we all put our pants on one leg first, the other one after. So hey,
100%, man, 100%.
Hell yeah.
So I just been very blessed to be able to say that it was almost a blessing in disguise in a way where I got to grow up a lot faster and understand and appreciate that tomorrow's never given.
Nope.
I think the biggest thing I learned from that car accident was if I wanted more money, I'll go work another job. I'll go, get a degree to get a better education that'll, help me pay for more money. If I want more friends, I'll go to parties. I'll go out and
more
reach.
social. Yeah,
exactly. The one thing I can never do without much time, fame, is time. It's never promised. It's never purchased.
You can never get it. You can never have it back. It's what you're given is that's it.
Yeah, it's not borrowed. Exactly. It's used and it's never promised anymore than what you
definitely.
give. So definitely the biggest thing I've learned.
No, and I agree with you 100%. And I always like to say this, the mental aspect of an injury or an altercation. The physical always heals. Like you're gonna heal. Everything's gonna go hopefully back to normal, or it's gonna go how it's supposed to. But when it comes down to the mental aspect, that never fades, or it doesn't fade as easily as it is for those physical injuries. So you really have to, be mentally strong more than anything, because that right there could literally take you out of the whole fight before you were even in it, or before you even move somewhere else. If your mind's not right, then it's gonna be very difficult to go out and do anything else. Right. So that right there, that's a big kudos to you, bro, because I feel like, a lot of people, once they go through an injury like that, or they go through, adversity in their life, they completely get shattered and don't ever come back the same.
Yeah. Again, I'm not special. I'm not different than anyone.
We're all human.
Exactly. We all make mistakes. Yep. And definitely. And the one thing about mental health in general, is it's crazy. The biggest makeup or cover is a smile.
Oh, dude, 100%. Yeah. And I'm always saying this, the people that sometimes show that they're the happiest or the most ecstatic are sometimes the people that are the saddest, because it's so easy. It's so easy to just, put a smile on, put a facade, say that you're feeling this. It's so easy to trick people with words, but you can never trick yourself.
Definitely not.
I've always said this, bro, you can lie to everybody straight to their faces, but deep down inside of you, bro, you're going through it and you know exactly what it feels like. Cause we've all gone through shit, bro. And it sucks having to go out there, do what you have to do with the fact that you're not 100% inside. And it's I'd rather just not even do what I'm doing right now. I want to go home and just shut everything off.
Complete facts. And right there is like you said too, it's the easiest option, and especially the generation we live in. It's so
easy to just say, no, I don't want to try today. I want to do nothing.
Exactly.
But it's hard to go out there, be yourself, and do what you need to do on top of the way that you're feeling.
Definitely.
That's the sacrifices.
Yeah, and I think that's the best thing that my friends and family and coaches and just support have pushed me to do is make the hardest choice.
Yeah.
Actually doing the hard choice rather than making the easy way out. And just, let life just do whatever you want.
See, but I feel like, you instilled it in your head. You had that vision that you're like, okay, so they're telling me no, but I'm going to go out and prove them yes.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that right there is that energy that's pushing you from within, telling you like, you know what? Like a lot of people are telling you no, but hey, if in your mind you see it, you can make it happen. 100% you're living proof. You're living proof, bro.
I mean, I look down. There's a teammate of mine. We get sponsored by his grandfather and whatnot. They have a big campaign. It's called the Never Give Up campaign. Yeah. So I have some for you guys. I'm gonna give you guys up.
We love
for sure.
Surprise out here. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's simple little words. I mean, I'm super easy to please. I'm like probably the simplest guy in the world. So just little words like that just to remind yourself, even no matter how hard things are, I promise with hard work, dedication, just sacrifice, it will happen.
And that's literally the reason why I started the energy, because I was like, to me, the energy is that force within yourself that, keeps you alive, keeps you pushing, keeps you, going at it no matter what. Because at the end of the day, if you're not going at it, then, I mean, like, what are you doing? Like, you might as well just go settle for less and do, what everyone else is doing. Because if it was easy to do whatever it is you want to do or whatever you envision in your head, everybody would be doing it, but nobody tells you that it's more mental than it is physical along the path.
100%.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You take yourself out of the fight before you put yourself in there if you're not mentally prepared.
Exactly.
So you're also in the Army Reserves, and I'm sorry that I cut you off.
You're good. You're good.
He's like, well, about to fight me over here. Like, so you're balancing Army Reserves and U.S. soccer. What is that like, man? And how can you do that, bro?
Honestly, man, I lived the dream job. My dream was to always represent my country in a military uniform or represent my country by playing the game I love.
Right. And you got the opportunity to do
I got to do both. So I commissioned in 2016. Mm-hmm. That's when I graduated college. From there, as an officer, you have to go through this thing called BOLIC. Okay. So from BOLIC, your unit, you have a MOS, which is your job in the Army. They send you a specific one. As now, I was in an MI unit, meaning military intelligence, reserve unit. I was sent as a signal officer to Fort Gordon, which is in Augusta, Georgia. Okay. So I was there for about 4.5 weeks. From there, it's almost like a little bit of it's just basically another semester of school. Yeah. And learning what your job is for the Army. Right. And so some basic training type of stuff that the enlisted get to do, all that fun stuff. But other than that, after that, the last week of BOLIC, you have to teach a presentation to the rest of your classmates because there's about 50 other second lieutenants who are brand new ranked officers, and from there you have to teach them something in the Army that we don't know about. Luckily enough, someone brought up to my attention, hey, have you heard of this thing called the World Class Athlete Program? I'm like, no, what exactly is that? It sounds like it's cool. It's like, dude, you should research into it and actually apply for it. Yeah. So the World Class Athlete Program, best job I've ever lived and I could ever ask for. Right. You go in there, you apply. You have to either be an Olympic or a Paralympic athlete. Oh, okay. Okay, so you could be a reservist, a National Guard, or active duty soldier, and as long as you're part of a Olympic or Paralympic team, you join this unit, which is a very, very rare and specifically special unit where they pretty much you're out there to help recruit and show that the Army's not just about combat arms. Right. Right now, the stat is about 30% of the Army actually are the only ones that go through combat arms. So what does the rest of 70% do? A lot of great jobs inside the Army, of cyber, from transportation to just logistics. Exactly. Yeah, man. Like, I knew it right up exactly, man. So just stuff like that is something that we wanted to show off in the Army. And then obviously it's a help recruiting tool and it's a help positive way so we can see at the Olympic and Paralympic Games, the biggest games of them all. Yeah. And you can see, oh, shoot, he's actually part of the Army. And like, dude, I want to look inside the Army. Yeah. What are the benefits? It's a sense of pride. Exactly. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I got to live that dream for about almost 3 years now. Got off active duty orders in June, actually July. And then from there, back to reserve life now that we're now it is actually taking place. U.S. Soccer offered us contracts so we can move full time, and I'll be heading to Atlanta, Georgia.
So how does that work? Full-time contract?
Full-time contract. So that means that we'll be living there, we'll be training, we'll be actually training alongside, probably sometimes with Atlanta United players. My coach, Stuart Sharp, by all means, props to him. He made this all happen, as well as our other manager with Jim Morehouse. From them, they've been working diligently since 2016. After the Rio Games, they saw how much we can improve with full-time access. And as part of the Paralympic team, when I first joined, we were ranked number 9 in the world. Now we're ranked number 4.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so from it's gone up each year by year. just from beating Brazil for the first time in our history 2 years ago, from beating them just last month in Peru. Gold medalists of the Pan Am Games. We were the only team to beat them, but just having that sense of pride is something that I think
definitely nobody can take it away from you.
Exactly.
So take us through, what's it like to play in a World Cup, bro? I know a lot of us, wish that they had that, that feeling or that even that opportunity to play in a, that big of a stage.
Yeah.
What's it like, bro? Like the feeling, the energy, like the jitters and stuff like that.
I know the first day that before the game. You do your warm-ups, and when I'm pinching myself the whole time, making sure it's still real. So I'm like, all right, for sure.
Hopefully you don't wake up like, I played.
Exactly. Being able to travel the world and whatnot, and then especially in 2016 was the biggest thing, was to represent my country at the Paralympic Games. When you're just standing there before the game, you do your, the national anthems for both teams. Each and every single time, I have about 60-something caps now with the team. With the senior team, and my heart's just racing. It's crazy. Just the jitters, that sense of feeling is not uncomparable. You can never.
I can't even imagine, bro. Yeah.
So until that day, whatever that day stops where I don't feel that is definitely the day I'll walk away from the game. But yeah, just expect. Like, have you ever heard this place called Heaven? Yeah, it's basically what it felt like. Bro,
tell me more about it.
It was crazy. It was something like that.
Hey, I just want to give a big shout out right now to my cousin that just signed on, the Fixer, aka Bakla. You're my favorite cousin, bro. I love you. Shouts out, and we're gonna beat you at softball.
I think you're gonna give a shout out to God or something. I was like, shout out to God.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to
I'll give him a shout out. I give him a shout out every night.
Nah, bro, he's for sure shout out every night in my prayers.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, bro, before that, I've only heard of hell, so hey, I guess heaven does exist.
For sure, it's definitely that.
Nah, but
can we talk about how that all started? The one you first joined.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, so 14. So I started playing soccer at the age of 7. Competitive. So YMCA, rec ball, AYSO, all the way.
Matrix.
Exactly. And honestly, it was Benita Matrix. From there, 11 was the first time playing club. Actually, Chula Vista Rangers was my club team for most of my life.
Shout out.
For sure. And then some time with Nomads. We split some time with them. But from there, at 14 years old, so part of the Paralympic team, it's kind of hard to find people eligible to be playing against the Paralympic team, to find competition.
Right.
It's already hard enough to find different countries, but
they would play against the Rangers, right?
Exactly. So Chula Vista Olympic Training Center. We were so blessed to live one of the 3 Olympic training centers across the whole country. We live right next to one.
Right down the street.
Exactly. So from there at 14, that's the closest competitive, I guess you could say, equality from it is like the Paralympic team against 14, 15-year-olds. So I was one of those 14, 15-year-olds, able-bodied. My whole goal was to hopefully make the Olympic team one day. One thing led to another. We scrimmaged against them at the Olympic Training Center. That was my first sight of heaven because those fields are so perfect. And
not like those patchy grass fields
exactly.
that you pass a ball and it bumps everywhere and goes somewhere else.
Honestly, sometimes I'm playing the sand. I don't know if I'm playing beach soccer or regular soccer.
What is.
But I think those humble beginnings definitely were
those Sunday League fields.
Yeah. So, but yeah, 14, 15 playing against them, and one thing led to another where. The head coach at the time, he liked me a lot, and I got along with the team and whatnot. I was the captain of the Rangers team at the time, and Jay Hoffman was the first coach there, and he introduced me. He's like, "Hey, well, we come out to the training center 1 week a month. Whenever we're here, we'll invite you to come down if you live down the street." Okay. Say no more. Say less. I'll be here.
You had me at we could bring you.
So, every once in a while, whenever they're here, I was here and we were free, I would come down. Jay Hoffman's also a big supporter in club. Rush is one of the biggest travel ball clubs, around the country. And he was in Virginia. Had connections. Renee Miramontes, who actually brought Paul Areola into the U.S. Mix that way. Renee introduced me, and we introduced each other, and he's like, "Hey man, you want to go to ODP camp?" And this is at 17 years old, and I was like,
I remember ODP.
Sure. I guess, yeah. I was sure. Where, when? Is it now? Let's do it. But I jumped all over
Pinching myself to see if it's true.
Exactly. So from there, we go back to that. I'm down. We go back to 2011.
Hey, do you want to hop in this?
Should I bring it up?
That's what we're doing. Bonita reunion. Oh, this was really doing it.
All right. I guess we can bring it out if you want me to bring it out.
this is what we're doing.
Yes, let's do this more.
Why not, bro?
I guess if you want to bring out the ring. Do you want to bring out the ring?
This guy really brought out the ring for CIF when we played it.
I'm sorry.
Right here.
Fool's really gonna flex on us like that. Yeah. Hey, just make sure we cut this, please.
We've been over this Benita forever.
This is the best part right here.
All right, you guys settle in? Everything's good. You guys good? Yeah, you guys got out of the way. You guys want to go outside and just hug it out?
Let me tell you something. 2011, right?
Yes, sir.
I was a sophomore, I think. And even freshman year, I remember every time we would scrimmage against them, there was JV versus varsity. Yeah. We would have I'll be talking to either like the goalkeeper Miguel or another defender Jesse, and we'll be like, man, I wonder who's gonna want to play forward for us, because who wants to go against Ramon and Garza? Like, no, thank you, we're good. And we would just be chilling there, just watching everyone like, there's no competition. It was a beast.
No, man, fucking look at this guy.
That team, man. I think that was the best thing about it, is that we're all from the South Bay area, and we grew up playing the travel ball. Where high school was only a couple months, 4 months at most. So for the rest of the 8 months, how are you going to be training together and being club ball, playing up, growing up together? I think that was the biggest thing. So
I mean, everybody knows soccer is a team sport, right? And everybody has to work together to accomplish their goal, which is to win. How has always playing in team sports, especially soccer, shaped you to be able to interact and get along with different people, especially in the Army with that it's full of different.
I think the sports in general have made me the person I am. Yeah. And I owe everything in characteristics of being able to handle adversity, being able to handle
your emotions,
different personalities, emotions, pressure, all those fit into one, just in different types of areas, weather. If someone has a bad day, you have to pick them up. If I'm having a bad day, I know I can count on other team. It's that kind of family environment that I think that we should have across all types of areas, not just sports in general.
Always.
So you were on, sorry. On the Bonita.
So, going back to the
we go back to Bonita.
Outside,
after that, you went to...
So, after high school, went to Dominguez. From there, and still in talks with ODP camps and whatnot. Freshman year happened. That's when the car accident happened. From there, to join our team, you either have to have a cerebral palsy, you either have a traumatic brain injury, which was how I got into it, and then you also go through a stroke. From those three things... we go to classification, and then from there, classifiers. So pretty much doctors, there's about a team of 3 before each tournament. If you're not classified in yet, you have to go through the process. Before you even touch the field or even play a game, you have to go through that to see if you classify into the sport.
When they classify you, do they classify you as something certain, like a certain level kind of thing?
Basically, yeah. So from there, those 3, now we just recently changed the classification system.
Okay.
So it used to be a 6, 7, 8. Now it's down to a 1, 2, 3. Okay. So the 1, 2, 3, you either have 1 being the most disabled player on the team, to the 3 being the least disabled player on the team. With that as well, I guess you could say that it is focused on exact things that they want. For me, I'm a 2. So for being as a 2, I have this bad thing called ataxia. So my balance is poor. So I mean, like we're outside playing the field, I'll fall over 90% of the time. Like
no, I'm falling.
The wind is gonna blow me over. So we're focusing on those different things. Depending on what you have from the CP, from the TBI, or the stroke, those doctors will focus on different things and tell you what you have. They'll go through a boardroom process, about 20 to 30 minutes, where they have you do different tests. From there, you go out to the field with a ball and see how those change your game. Yeah. And when I first joined the team at 19 years old or 20 years old, it was the year after, I was, timing's everything. I really do believe in that, where I came at the training center, had no idea to join the team. I was looking at there's an all-military team. Okay. So they have a World Cup that all militaries from different countries, they go out and, they compete against. Cool. And those could be all branches, in that specific country. When at the end of the game, one of my players, old teammates, Martel, who was on the team, and he's like, "Hey man, like, I heard you on the back car accident. Come train with us." I'm like, "Oh, sure." I mean, where's Coach at? And Coach Hoffman came up to me and said, "Hey man, and if you want to get your boots, I know you're trying to get rehab to go back into the game again. Please just come out and train with us." From there, we train. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours each session. At the end of the session, he comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, bring me your paperwork." "Paperwork for what, Coach?" He's like, "For your car accident. I want to go through it." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "The way you run, the way you like fall and stuff like that, and you might have a chance to class into the sport." So train with them for another week or two, bomb the 50 pages. And I told him, coach, like, hey, are you sure? It's like pretty much a novel you're going to be reading. He's like, yeah, bring it over. So from there, he's always been my biggest fan of trying to push me to be ODP. But if not, he tried to recruit me to be on the team. After all that, about 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from the team manager. Her name was Dana at the time. And she lets me know, I was like, hey, what are you doing next week? I'm like, well, hopefully training with you guys.
Right.
What's up? She's like, oh, we're not going to be here. I'm like, oh, okay, well, thanks for having me. She's like, no, well, make sure you have a passport. I'm like, why? Well, you're coming to Barcelona, Spain with us. Oh, man.
How did you feel?
My heart fell. I couldn't, I lost my voice again.
I lost my voice again. He's like, I was standing and I just completely fell.
So after not having the talk, she's like, are you still on the phone? Like, so can you come?
So this is the same coach that you were training with when you were 14, 15, right?
So yeah, he's always been the same coach for the team and came full circle from being the Olympic path. Now with the car accident and whatnot, changed, not totally in a way where I'm still representing my country, just in a different platform.
Were there, now the players you were playing with, now you're 20 years old, you just joined the team, right? Are those the same, were there the same players you were playing against?
Yes,
training with?
most of them were. Like,
Get out of there.
Yeah, most of them were. So the youngest player now at the time with them, but still like, most of them are still there. Now they're like, 25, 26, 27, and maybe some 30-year-olds. But majority of the team, the core of the team was definitely the same people. So it's crazy how it went full circle.
Everybody comes back around, and you're literally back where you started.
Exactly. Yeah. So, part of the team now for about 6 years, and it's been a dream come true, honestly.
So there was this goal you scored against Ireland, bro. I had to bring it up, bro. So what were you thinking? And take us through that goal, bro. Like, come on now. Like, were you trying to do that, or like instinct happened and I'm here, this is what I should do, might as well just try.
First of all, did you see the Pulisic hat trick he had with Chelsea?
Yep.
That last
header, yeah. I was like,
exactly
what a copycatter.
Hey, did you message him and be like, yo, did you plan this? I know you've seen this.
You didn't give me the credit, bro? Ball means that dude's a baller, by the way.
Yeah, no, definitely.
For sure.
Shouts out.
Yep. But no, that game, that goal, so it was the World Championships 2017. We were down in Argentina. It was our last game. That was the first time we ever beat Brazil. So we're already on
you're hyped. You're hyped. Energy's all over.
Yeah, and that game-winning goal, we were down 2-0 against Brazil. Came back to win 3-2. The last goal we scored for that game was like on ESPN top plays. It was like number 2.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
That's what I seen. I'm like, wait, hold on, David. I know this guy.
But going into that game,
he's on my podcast. Yeah.
Nah, man. But going into the last game, we of course, if we win that game, that'd be the highest finish in any major tournament in our history. So it's a 5th, 6th place game against Ireland.
Yeah.
Ireland's always been tough. They're always like really physical and aggressive. Like the not comparative, like non-soccer, like they're not gonna dive. They're gonna make sure that you on the floor instead. So I love to play against that kind of team. So we're going into it. We're down 2-1 with about 2-3 minutes left in the game. So in our game, we play 2 30-minute halves instead of 2 45-minute halves. Exactly. So whatever, 58th minute. I'm usually a center mid, but mainly a defender.
Yeah.
So my coach is like, hey, Garza, go play forward. Okay, coach. I'm moving. So I'm hopping up there, and so I'm like, dude, I gotta make the most of this chance.
Shit forward, I gotta do something.
So it was a great ball in. I believe it was tie to Ben or Ben to tie, and they just play a ball in. I'm on like the left side of the 6.
Yeah.
I see the ball floating around. I'm pretty tall, so luckily I've been blessed with that. And the defender's trying to follow me around. I think he slips at one point, but then he comes back to me. Honestly, I was just trying to head it back towards the middle and see if someone falls onto it. Luckily enough, it hit the right, perfectly angled my head, and I'm falling over again, of course. And then the goalie's frozen because he has no idea how that happened.
What's going on here?
And it goes in the back of the net, and we were screaming 2-2. 60th minute, there's stoppage time, about another 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
And somehow Cam DeLillo, our forward, he's 19 at the time when he scores, and he scores the game winner, 3-2. Complete madness. We're going crazy. And it was awesome.
Dude, I can only imagine that feeling must be crazy.
Definitely.
Can you talk to us? Because you just mentioned how like the differences between like a 90-minute match. So So what is the difference between what you guys played to compared to like professional and regular?
Right. So from able-bodied to 11 sides. So of course 11 side when you have your 4-3-3 or your 3-3-4 or whatever. So we have 7-on-7. So that's including the goalie. So you have 6 players on the field.
Like an indoor indoor kind of.
Yeah, basically indoor. But as much as I wish it was indoor, because at least you have surrounding areas and the field's a little smaller.
But it's still same size?
And it's not the same exact size, but it's still big enough where you're...
7, yeah.
That's why it's down to 30-minute halves to 45.
Yeah, it makes sense because you're running around more times.
Jesus.
Definitely. So you're playing that and being able to... It's definitely a change.
It happens to me all the time, bro.
So it's definitely a change in the game, way you play, where you always have to be an option. Compared to 11 side, you almost feel like you could take a break and like figure out what's your perfect movement of what you need to do. When you're off the ball, you need to make sure you be able to receive the ball.
Yeah.
And because there's no times off because you're always either you're getting ready to receive the ball or you need to make sure you get back to defense.
Exactly.
What would a regular formation be then?
So for us, we usually play like a 2-2-1. So that's us, or a 3-2-1. So from there, or like a 2-2-2. I mean, so from there, we just switch it up depending on the teams we play against. It's crazier too because also you have people with cerebral palsy. So you have people that can't use one side of their body that's weaker than the other. So you could roll the ball in like a bowling ball. So if you make that as a throw-in, you know how throwing is always good. So you could do that as well. But yeah, you can also roll the ball in because not everyone can use both arms. As well as like, let's see, corner kicks are the same. Throw-ins are like that. There's the biggest, most annoying thing that I got to deal with. There's no offsides.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
so that makes sense why you were freaking just completely forward of that.
Exactly.
I
was just chilling in the box, like, hey, play me the ball. But no, as a defender, that's where you find most annoying because you usually have that as an advantage, and you have your refs like being able to back you up. And then you want to press the ball so they can play it and they're offsides. Yeah. Well, in this game, you have to stay with the cherry pickers.
Yeah, because they don't. Because if not, they're still going to get through.
Exactly.
Yikes.
That's intense right there, though.
Definitely. So that changed for sure.
What would you say was the most difficult game that you've played so far? And, what country?
Difficult game. On the spot. I don't know. I just love playing so much. Honestly, like any game that I get to play against, but I think the greatest game was always getting to live my dream of playing in 2016 under the lights. My family, my parents, my brother, they all came out. It was the night against Holland. We were underdogs. It was our group. We had pretty much the group of death of that tournament was we had Iran, usually top 3 in the world. They're monsters. Wow. They have their own league. They have their own pro Paralympic league in their country.
Insane.
Yes. And what also gives them an advantage, like in Russia and as well as Iran, like for us, our medical, files and whatnot, it's private.
Yeah.
For them, they can go recruit. Like, all right, give me all the files for the country. All right, let's get this guy. Hey, do you want to come play soccer for us? Here's what we can give you and this and that. So they have that advantage to recruit players into it. But as well, so Iran, we had Holland, who was a top 4 country at the time. As well as Argentina, who's our bitter rivals. Okay. Yeah, them and England's our European rival. Argentina is our South American rival for sure. But our first game was against Holland. We needed to have a result in order for us to even have a chance of making it to the knockout rounds. So hopefully, advance in the Paralympic games. Even though it was the first game, it was the most important game. Yeah. And for me, game of my life, I loved it. It was everything I wanted and. First 20 minutes was going fantastic. Yeah. That was probably the one time I would give me credit. Usually give it to my team. Yeah. My goalie is a monster. Sean Boyle, best goalie in Paralympic soccer. Shout out to him. By all means. But playing alongside one of my best friends on the team, Josh Brunei, with him and Drew, were like monsters. Of course, we scored within the first 5 minutes of the game. Rest of 15 minutes, I never got kicked more than ever in my life with the ball. Like I probably had so many saves from everything. It was top of the world feeling. 22nd minute in the game, I win a ball off the forward. He slides, his foot catches my ankle, immediately breaks it. So first 22 minutes of my dream tournament of everything I ever wanted to play for, gone. Whatever, this thing called adrenaline. It's wild what it can do for you.
Dude, that's crazy. I had that once.
Yeah. Besides the energy drink.
Cheers.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, after that, going to halftime, as soon as I felt it and the halftime stopped, the game stopped, so the adrenaline kind of, rushed down. I'm like, shoot, like this is...
The pain's hitting in.
Yeah, it's like, all right. So I'm hobbling off. And I'm like, damn, like this. I worked my whatever. At that point, I was 23. So 23 years of life for this, and to be gone like that. I'm like, so my coach, I want to play for at least the rest of the second half. After that, we'll do whatever we have to do. So
cortisone.
So he just tapes me up, and whatever. Medical staff do a great job of keeping me like at least stable enough to at least play for that.
Yeah,
play the rest.
Imagine, bro. Yeah, broken ankle.
Yeah, man. So play the rest of the second half. We go down 2-1. I was like, wow, like the first game, probably my last game, we're down 2-1. Once again, another 59th minute game, header into the goal. We have a throw-in from about 30 yards. If you ever met the most interesting man in the world, have you ever heard of him? Seth John. Look him up on Instagram. I promise this guy is taking pictures with jaws from, wrestling alligators.
Wait, is that the guy from Los Equis?
It should be. It should be him. So Seth John throws in a crazy throw-in. We get a flick-on header. Adam Ballou taps it, nice header through, knocks off one of their players and scores, going crazy. 2-2, tie it up, get the result. So that was definitely the most difficult game because after that, got an X-ray the next morning and found out it was broken
ankle.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, so playing soccer and then being in the Army, how is it different? How is it alike? I'm sure there's differences and, likenesses.
For sure. Difference Army and soccer, of course, there's the best. I'll go positive first. I'm a glass out full-time person. Definitely teamwork. There's definitely a goal, and it's a common goal or team goal that we all have to go for. Different kinds of leadership, for sure. Just like any team, you have to have different motivational techniques and types that way, because not everyone's the same. As crazy as it is, not everyone reacts the same way that someone else will. Someone has to be driven this way and that way, all types of stuff like that. But also, when it comes, I think the best thing about it, though, for me personally, going through both of them, Army has definitely humbled me, knowing that, like, going through, sleeping under the stars and, figuring out where we'd be camping out at when we do our training and drills, especially in the middle of nowhere. And then from there, and then when soccer, we have 5-star hotels and, like, living a great life that way. So having a mixture of the both makes me appreciate and understand that, like, yeah, this is not everyday life. So, being able to do the two different ones for sure has been awesome. Uniformity, making sure that we're always on time and be exact. Luckily enough, my team has been very, very blessed to have multiple, either ex or current military veterans on the team. So from there, Seth, Renee, Gavin, of course, Josh, even people like that have definitely motivated me, and they're all enlisted. So they made sure and put me in my place that my rank doesn't mean anything yet. So I'm the young kid that's higher ranked technically, but yeah, they've gone through all that and gone through war and all that great stuff. So learning from them on and off the field, and not even just about soccer in general, into life. And for sure, I think that's the best thing about my team is that, we all gone through hell, in order not just to, live life again, but to play soccer again. We got to do both of those. And like you said, going from hell and now going back to heaven is awesome, that we can just talk about not what we went through, but talk about everyday life. Hey, how's your family? How's the friends? Sports, movies, music, just normal stuff again. I think that was the best thing about me specifically was, like you asked me earlier, what is the one thing, or like who do you reach out to? To people that don't go through.
You're lost.
And not everyone has gone through exactly what I gone through. We all go through our different downs and whatnot, and adversities, but being able to, like, find a common ground of, like, you went through that. Well, here's a better way, or how I interacted that way.
I'm assuming that kind of helped you with the transition. As far as when you first joined that team, you got to talk to them about it, because sometimes even your closest friends, they can't
relate to what you've gone through or what you're going through.
To hear it's gonna be okay. That's not
from somebody that hasn't been in my shoes, hasn't gone what I'm going through, or never had it hard. It's easy for you to say that looking at it from the outside in, but inside out, it's a whole different world.
For sure.
Definitely.
Has this kind of helped you? So now, since you joined the team and you get to talk to other people, would you say this helped you interact with others that probably you don't even know, but you just feel like, hey, maybe we could have a conversation and help each other out?
I think that was the best thing, is that my two other co-captains, there's 3 co-captains on the team. We've been great ambassadors in the way of, like, showing off what Paralympic soccer is in general, and then showing off like it's like when you hear the word Paralympic, usually you think of like the special needs or special whatever the case may be. And don't get me wrong, I mean I'm not gonna blame the ignorance, but like it's not that spotlighted. I'm glad now NBC has done a great job since 2016 to show broadcast more games. 2018 they did a lot of the Winter Paralympic games. So just being able to go speak in interviews and to share that with others and just to say like we're still like I've met some of the most intelligent, some of the most athletic guys I've ever seen in a Paralympic uniform. Right. So men and women, like just from different sports where sitting volleyball is amazing. We have track athletes. It's just crazy what people can do. Wheelchair basketball. There's rugby, and it's probably one of the most hectic and awesome sports to ever see. But
you play volleyball.
I
remember that.
Yeah, man. Sorry, no, for sure. Volleyball is awesome. I love all sports. I've been lucky enough to play soccer and travel the world doing that, but I love all sports. I'm like a walking ESPN. Ask me any question, I'll talk to you about any sport.
Well, hey, what has been your favorite country to travel to so far?
That's really, really tough. And by all means, knock on wood, I've been very blessed. I'm not trying to show off that way, but like Spain's great. England, Holland. From the European side, those are probably my top ones for sure. Going south more. Brazil, Argentina, but actually I really, really like Chile, where we were at in August. And another surprising, I don't want to say country, but just a city specifically, Toronto, Canada. I love Toronto. Been there twice. Very urbanized, and when people say Canadian people are nice, it's not a stereotype. All people are like, it's crazy how nice people are there.
Like, it's for real, you being too nice here? Like, you know what I mean?
Going to school in LA, because it reminds me of the, as busy and urbanized as LA is. That's what Toronto reminds me of. Having the most narrow-minded and like very like, self-absorbed people, where I've been accustomed to or, experienced in my life, going to school there in LA. In Toronto, it's complete opposite, and people are so nice and like, exactly. It almost like, okay, you can stop playing around with me now.
Like, bro, I get it.
For chill. Sure. The joke, it's a joke for sure. I'm not laughing anymore.
I remember when you went to Spain, I was like, dang, that's so sweet. I started replying to you to that.
Yeah, for sure.
So you said like Renton has her own league, right?
Yep.
And there's a popularity's on the rise for Paralympic sports, but what would you say is the next step for?
I mean, like I said, the next step earlier when it's getting full time. This U.S. soccer has saw the benefits in what we can do and the potential of us. It's called the ENT. It's the Extended National Team. It's basically a third national senior team where you have your men's national senior team and you have your women's national senior team. And now you have this ENT, which compiles of us, as in the Paralympic soccer. We have beach soccer, men and women. And hopefully soon enough we'll have futsal, going into it as well. From there, we'll build on what U.S. Soccer will, want to fund and put money into that way. But that ENT program and how we sign contracts going to Atlanta, at least for the start of it, is huge for U.S. Soccer.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro, for the expansion.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
United States, we're very fortunate to have access to the top facilities, the top coaching staffs, the top technology. Why do you think that we, as a country in soccer, lack the abilities to, perform at a higher level, such as countries like, the European countries like England, Germany, France, Brazil, Argentina? Sure. What do you think holds us back, knowing that, we have way more resources than them and then way more opportunities? What's your point of view on that?
My point of view is U.S. Soccer does a tremendous job of trying to reach out. Yeah. But when you say countries like Spain, England, Germany, France, popularity is one where we have, big other four major sports.
Football,
is
basketball, baseball,
and hockey is considered four major sports. Yeah. And as well as the size. The size deficit of trying to reach out, like our state of California is just as big as any of the countries I just named. And, and it's already hard enough to find, players that way. True. So just trying to recruit him, it's like, in my opinion, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Right. So that word of mouth, or just that, finding that single or double person or whatever the case may be to recruit them in and get them into the national team camp. Right. It's difficult. U.S. Soccer faces a very difficult task of trying to reach out to these players. Okay. And as much as soccer is growing or in this country,
and we've have grown significantly within the past couple of years.
Definitely, and MLS is getting bigger and signing bigger names in that way. But even then, traveling. So when you go to Spain, and so like I said, the size of this country is huge,
right,
compared to Spain and all those other countries I just named. So being able to play teams from like they could travel on bus for 6 hours. We have to take flights across the country
to go to certain areas.
Yeah,
right.
And the cost of that, of course, as well, is be able to fund that kind of program in sports and players that way is.
It's not easy.
It's not at all. So.
And like you said, it is huge. So that's why when you hear someone from Chula Vista, for example, from the South Bay that made it to a national team, or even on your case as well, that's why everyone just is so intrigued and they want to follow, because you also inspire anyone else to be like, hey, you're from here, a border town, I guess.
Definitely.
And you could do it, and you could definitely represent your country, and which is always an inspiration for everyone.
Exactly. So I think that as well is huge when it comes to just being able to support anyone and everyone, and if it's myself or Paul, whoever from this area, like getting behind them, and just like from there is like, we're at the end of the day, we're just human beings.
Yeah, that's it.
That's anyone could do it. Even if it just motivate one person to go out there and
that's big.
It's huge.
It's big. Now I'll piggyback off that, because even if this reaches only like one person, or only one person gets value from it, that's one person that gains something from what we're saying.
Definitely.
And that's a trickle down effect, because then they go out and speak to somebody else, and then they go out and speak to somebody else, and that's, I think, the importance of having people like you, having a platform like this to be able to spread conversations and talk about point of views that you don't get to listen to in your sphere of influences, in your group of people, because either one, they're too ignorant, they don't like it, or they don't really care.
Definitely.
But I know for a fact everybody always needs to hear some sort of motivation, some sort of inspiration, because like you said, and I really, really, really give you props on how you put it, everybody gets motivated different. Everybody has a different inspiration, and everybody has different triggers. But if you're able to, work with people and know how to, diversify yourself into those personalities, then you're a beacon of, inspiration and leadership.
Right.
And that's exactly what I see in you, bro. Like
I don't know about that. No.
Who would you say inspired you then?
Inspired me the most. I wouldn't say the most. It's the collective people. My father being number one, ball means he was the one that took me to soccer practice, took me through games, traveled, wherever we needed to go to. The amount of money that it took to him for me to even get to where I'm at, it's number one for sure. Also, just like I said, when it comes to military veterans on my team, when it comes to Seth and Josh, even Coach Stewart, being able to give me chance to the chance. Are huge. Some of my best friends from, we got Raymond, Kev, Zane, and all them, and Mitch. They're going through what I went through and whatnot, and being there and just making sure that I'm still humble about everything has been huge. I definitely, like I said, don't like to take anything for granted. So just taking and seeing different adversities and people's perspectives is, I think communication is something that can heal a lot. Yeah. And just being able to just understand, like, hey, ball means we have a different viewpoint on this. But here, I respect you enough as a person that I will understand that and I get it. So ball means.
You can understand. You might not agree, but you can understand, And that's how you I guess, strive to do when you disagree with somebody. Just understand where they're coming from and not necessarily agree with them, but just be like, hey, I understand that's your opinion. Yep. You're entitled to that. Yep. This is mine, and I'm entitled to it.
That's simple. As easy as that is, it's a lot. Unfortunately, it's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, because then emotions, ego, pride all gets in the way. And then when that happens, goes out the window.
For sure.
So, we're getting ready here to close out a decade, Yeah. So we went from 2010, upcoming 2020, bro. Right. And these past 10 years, what has, changed within you? What have you reflected on? And what would you do different, if anything?
I like to live life with no regrets.
Yeah.
Ball means.
Of course.
End of the day, I have made countless mistakes. Mm-hmm. I have made so many. We're human. Yeah, but at the end of the day, as much as it sucks that the person, whatever the timing, all those people that I've heard, whatever the case may be, I can't apologize enough. And in my opinion, actions speak louder than words. But it takes also time to understand. It took time for me to understand a lot of things that I went through, and just to see how much I need to grow as a person, especially through college, where in my opinion, I think college, going through your bachelor's degree years, you should, focus on yourself so you can help improve yourself as a person and go try new things and whatnot. And then that way, when you're done, you can, outreach and give to other people. From there, I've been very blessed to, graduate through that. But I just think that we all grow up indifferently. Like I said, age is just a number, and going through experiences and especially adversity will make you go through that and understand that. So as much as I can't, say sorry enough to the people that I have hurt. Right. I just know that like hopefully they can see that I'm trying to be better in that case. I think people, like you said, we're human. We make mistakes. But as long as you learn from that, you don't make the same mistake twice, I think you're doing something in the right direction. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And you said something earlier that, I relate with. You said, I don't wish that what happened to me, but in a way you're kind of like, grateful and blessed that it was a blessing in disguise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it changes your perspective. That's how I look at when my dad passed away. Like, by all means, I don't ever, say like, thank God my dad died. But in a way, I'm like, like, this was a blessing in disguise, because if that didn't happen, certain events in my life wouldn't unraveled and I wouldn't become the same person I am right now. And I wouldn't have thought, the way that I'm thinking right now. So, in a way, like when you least expect it, the worst adversities are sometimes blessings in disguise that will forever change your life for a positive, even though it's coming from a negative.
Definitely. Everything happens for a reason.
No, for sure.
100% believe in that. Depending what your religion is and whatnot, for me, Catholic, so, there's a guardian angel that was watching me that night. And like
I believe in my guardian angels a lot.
Yeah, and like you said, I call it a blessing in disguise. I've been, sometimes ridiculed for that, just because, in my opinion, whatever happened to me specifically, I get it, and I'll understand and accept it. But my family, my friends, coaches, anyone that was there and had to see me, maybe he's gonna wake up, maybe he won't. Have that fear in them. I think that's what hurt me the most.
Yeah, the people around you that see you hurting and questioning whether you're gonna make it or not.
Definitely. So that was the hardest part about it all.
Yep. Man. Big props to you still, man. You're here, you're strong, and you're fucking still going at it. So now we're going to get into my favorite part of this, podcast. It's called the lightning round, where Marcos over there comes up with a set of questions that I myself have not read. You yourself don't know what's coming. Me, myself, don't know either. So with that being said, let's jump into question number 1. And basically just, whatever comes to your mind, go ahead and say it, bro.
I'm nervous already.
Perfect. Let's get into it. Even better. All right. Question number 1. What would you do on Mars for fun?
Play soccer.
No brainer. No hesitation.
Too easy.
Who would play you in the movie of your life?
All right, so moving my life. All right, The Punisher. I love that guy. Oh man, The Punisher and the Netflix series that got canceled. My heart's broken. His name is John Brumell. I love him so much.
You know what's funny? I love when we ask this question and people already know who they want him to play. It's like if you were waiting for you to get asked.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. Bro, of course, this guy. Will Smith.
Denzel Washington for sure. Yeah.
Dude, we had a prior guest ask him, and he said right off the bat, like no hesitation, Elvis Aldra.
No, he said Will Smith.
No, he didn't. He said Elvis Aldra.
Oh yeah, Elvis Aldra. Yeah, that's right. You said that.
That'd be
solid
sick.
guy.
Or Christian Bale. They would not even tell you my list.
American Psycho Christian Bale or Batman Christian Bale?
Oh, of course, Batman. Best Batman ever.
Question number 3. Where is she?
That's the question.
For sure.
Just kidding.
Mom?
Mom, can you pick me up? I'm scared. All right. Would you rather be able to copy and paste in real life or undo in real life?
Copy and paste.
Copy and paste?
For sure.
For sure?
For sure.
I go undo, bro. I do undo something.
Copy and paste.
Yeah?
Copy and paste
All right. What would you copy and paste?
With words of myself, like that I've said before in the past?
No, copy and paste as in like, memories or anything in general or something like...
I look at this thing, copy, and then I'm at a test, paste.
Yeah?
Okay.
Sure, let's go with that.
Well, I mean, in a way, I guess if they were that meaningful or that great of a memory, I don't want to forget it, so...
Exactly.
Copy, archive it, put it in a folder.
Relive the memory or
USB card.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Wait, do I get to actually understand what I did wrong and then undo it?
Yeah, that's the reason why.
Oh, all right.
That's why I would undo, homie. I'm like, undo.
For sure. Can't stop undoing.
There's some that I would definitely undo, bro.
We're still talking about the same thing here?
Yeah, right.
That Celsius is spiked, huh?
Welcome to the Energy Podcast, baby. All right. Let's settle down here, guys.
What was her name?
That's the question.
My turn.
Which Which one?
Well, there was this one time at a party.
Oh, sold.
All right. Question number 4. Hey, if you inherited a private jet from a stranger, what would you do with it?
Flying to Vegas.
Oh, shit.
Flying to Australia. That's the one country I really want to go visit.
Cool.
I love Australia. I want to live Australia. I want to live.
I heard they're just like so honest with everything they say that it's like, well, I can't hate you for being honest. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Question number 5. What's something you've tried that you'll never ever try again?
Oof, that's a tough one. I can't think of a top one off my head. Wow, I'm really bad at that.
It doesn't have to be food. It just has to be like something in general. Like what?
Man, I don't know. Give me a second to pause about that lightning question. I really don't know.
Can plead the 5th on that.
Yeah, I'll plead the 5th.
All right. What?
Everything's great.
I live life with no regrets.
Hey, copy paste. There it is.
Copy paste. There it is.
Simple.
What's your favorite carnival food?
Favorite carnival food?
If any.
Churros? Okay, does that count? Okay. Or how about some? What do you call it? Oh my goodness, I'm having a
funnel cake.
funnel cake. Thank you.
How did I know that?
Yeah.
Fried Oreos, bro. Those are.
Oh, dude, I used to make those
Oreos?
in 7th grade.
I done my fair.
Yeah.
Deep fried Oreos.
Bomb.
Fire. And then you put ice cream on it. Fire.
All right, let's go.
Let's go to
July.
When you fly on a plane, do you ever wear a neck pillow?
No.
Why?
I mean, I get it. It looks cute, but not really. I always bring a pillow.
Okay.
Yeah, so I always have like a small.
Like this?
Yeah, basically instead of being like that. So I'm always window or aisle, depending how long the flight is, because I do have to use the restroom quite often. If
You're one of those.
Yeah, it depends, because especially if it's a tournament.
You're a bladder splatter.
I'm a bladder spatter. If we're getting ready for a tournament or a game, I'm gonna be just chugging waters the whole time. So I'm gonna be going to the restroom like quite often, and I don't want to bother. I'm kind of tall, so yeah.
Right, yeah. Gift and a curve.
It is. It really is.
That's a weird flex, but okay.
Yeah.
That's a weird flex.
All right,
Sorry,
bro.
I'm 6'3".
Sorry, I'm 6'3", 250. Bill, have you seen these abs? Haven't had cards since 2006.
I'm only 6'3".
It's a sitting down. It's a sitting down interview. My bad.
LA or New York?
LA.
Of course, yeah.
I hate the Yankees. I hate the Yankees.
What celebrity would you rate as perfect?
Perfect 10.
A perfect 10.
Are we talking about my man crush, or are we talking about the woman crush?
Whoa. Whatever you like, bro. Here at the Energy Podcast, we do not judge.
Well, as a person, soccer player, Thierry Henry. That's half the reason why I wear number 14. Even though I know I get a lot of crap for it, I'm a big Manchester United fan. Go Red Devils. I know we're going through a time. It's okay. I get it. I know. It's all right. Moment of silence.
But Thierry Henry.
Come on,
exactly. Yeah, so
I'm a Man U fan.
Exactly. So I get Thierry
bro. You gotta
Henry's
respect.
Wait, okay.
You gotta respect class.
We can say this. La Liga team. Who's your team?
Barcelona.
Okay, so then that makes sense.
I mean, I don't know. It's just from the way he carries himself, and
don't worry about it. Do your thing.
I like how simple he plays, and like it's nothing crazy. It's not Ronaldo step overs or anything like that. Ball means or Neymar or anything like that. I respect that, but just the way he carries himself. He's a big civil rights activist in that way too. So anything like that, you could have a platform and do better, and not just soccer but in life. We always give respect to that.
Of course, awesome. Always will. What would you do if you were a wild goose stranded, started chasing you?
Catch and eat it.
Oh, okay. I heard goose is bomb, especially if it's gray.
I mean, I think you drink that one, but I get you.
No, I'm on today.
Check that.
It should be like 100 milligrams of energy, bro. Look at it, it's another one.
Oh man,
puns on puns.
Too hot. That's too hot.
All right. Do you believe in the paranormal, and would you go ghost hunting?
No. Oh, yes and no.
So you believe in the paranormal, but you wouldn't go ghost hunting?
Yeah, I mean, like horror films as well. Like, why would I go somewhere to get scared?
I got a question. All right, for both of you guys,
for sure.
So, scary movies.
Sure.
Are you scared of the plot and the story, or are you scared of the stuff that pops up and scares you in the suspense?
I love a good story, no matter what it is.
I love a good story.
Because I'm the opposite. Like, the story doesn't scare me because at the end of the day, I'm like, that's fake. Someone wrote that. It's cool. But that gets me is that when I'm waiting for something, and then all of a sudden jumping out of my seat because
That's normal. I just think that a lot of us, when it comes to those horror films, the script is just getting. It's the same old.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was gonna say. Because sometimes when I watch movies, I figure out the plot and I'm like, I already know what's gonna happen. I'm not scared anymore.
Yeah, I love movies. So like, why would I want to go somewhere to watch the same story unless it's a really good one and it's different and it's original? I'm down. But if it's like, come on, just scare me and give me a heart attack, by all means, I'd rather die something else.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sleep. I don't want no nightmares.
Bro.
What the
hell? Do you prefer the country or the city?
Tough because. I'll never ever I don't want to live in a downtown area.
No, yeah.
But I like suburbs is perfect. So a little bit of almost kind of both, but in a way. But I'd like the country to go visit, but I want to come back home into like the city area.
Yeah. You don't want to listen to country music in the country?
I love...
He's a country type of guy, bro.
I love country music. By all means, you ask my favorite color is red, white, and blue because I was, domestic beers.
That's my boy right there.
See, I can't don't get me wrong. I love the colors. But the music.
It's
something that we I respect. Wait a minute. Hold up. I understand, right? But I disagree with what you guys say. All right, but I understand where you guys are coming from.
Nah, I get you though.
That's what we're doing, guys.
Nah, for sure. All right, two, Benita. It's like what?
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
I would hear you, but my ring is too loud.
Yeah, that's probably like the only ring you guys got.
Yeah. That's the only one I need.
That's the only one that matters.
Yeah. Okay. Well, whatever. What are you looking over there? You don't have a ring.
No, but
it's a team ring.
Representative.
Represent.
Anyways.
Anywho.
Do you have any phobias?
Phobias. I'm not a foot person at all.
You don't like feet?
I don't like feet. But if you want to scare me, spiders.
Oh, bro, I hate spiders.
And if
what? No. Man,
no, I've seen like the movie 8 Crazy Legs, so they're gonna be as big as me. That scares me, and I'm out. I am extremely terrified of clowns. If like that it thing, like if people were chasing me down.
Careful, bro. We got the biggest clown on here.
Antonio Brown.
So did you dress up as a guy for Halloween?
Yeah, bro.
Because you were joking all day.
Podcast is over.
All right, that note, thank you for tuning in, guys.
And I thought we went to Benita's again.
All right.
I'm sorry. I saw it on me once.
All right, so if your significant other asked you to take dance classes, would you?
For sure.
Yeah.
I'll twerk it. Yeah, let me drop down.
Oh,
twerk class.
Twerk class.
We should go.
Was that say wrong dance?
No, shit, I'm all for it. Hey, it's funny. Like sure. Marcos is a dancer, so I feel like that was his hint for us to take dancing classes
together for you guys.
Dude, it helps with coordination.
Yeah.
And balance.
Yeah. But
just don't fall on us. Going there. Everybody watch out. We got a 6'3" David Garza falling.
Yeah.
It's because the ring's too heavy, bro. So
All right, so here's the last question. So I'm gonna say it, you're gonna repeat it and finish it off. Right?
Let's do it.
Ready?
Ready.
My name is blank.
My name is blank.
And I get my energy from.
You two.
You get your energy from YouTube? You get anything on YouTube nowadays. Just kidding. Hey, before we sign off, bro, you want to say anything else to the audience?
No, by all means, follows, please. US Paralympic team, we love the support. We've grown so much. Follow us, Instagram, social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, to be a #1 friend, whatever it is. We get you going. Never give up is definitely a thing. By all means, respect these two for everything they do for us and giving us a platform, understanding that, no one else you can count on besides yourself is #1. So focus on yourself. I know it's hard, but you'll get through it, I promise.
Yep. Couldn't have said any better. Tap into your energy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for everybody tuning in. Thank you so much for the overwhelming support. Like I always say, please subscribe, go follow, tell a friend, tell a tia, tell your ex-boyfriend, tell your ex-girlfriend. Go ahead and tell everybody because this is the best podcast in the world, and we wouldn't be here without you guys. That being said, thank you so much for David coming by, sharing his energy with us. Other than that, tune in to next episode. Yo! Yes, we out, baby. Energy!
Benita forever.
No. Energy!